Trading for beginners. Mistakes every beginner makes. The starting point nobody gave you. Before the strategies, before the charts, before any of it. You have spent hours watching trading videos. Most of what you found was built around the wrong idea. And that idea will cost you time and money. This video is the starting point nobody gave you. Let me start with something that sounds simple but changes everything. Most people come into trading thinking about money. How much can I make? How fast? What is realistic? And that is completely understandable. Money is why you are here in the first place. But here is what nobody tells you before you start. Trading is not a money game. It is a probability game. Money is just the outcome. What you are actually doing every single time you place a trade is managing odds. You are asking one question. Is the probability of this working in my favor right now? Not, will this make me money? Not, is this going to go up? Is the probability here good enough to act on? That shift sounds small. It is not. Every beginner who stays stuck for years is playing the money game. Every trader who eventually figured this out switched to the probability game at some point, usually after losing enough to force the switch. You do not have to wait for that. You can act on it right now. And here is where it gets interesting. When you first start trading, almost nobody escapes what I call the delusion phase. You watch some videos, you learn a few patterns, you open a demo account or start with small money and it works a lot of times. Maybe you make a lot of money and something clicks in your brain. This is it. I understand this. I have the secret. I just need to do more of this. That feeling is completely normal and it's also completely wrong. Because what happened is not that you understood trading. What happened is that you got lucky inside a small sample size, inside conditions that happened to match what you learned at a time when the market was cooperative with you. Then conditions change and suddenly nothing works. And you go from feeling like you figured it out to feeling like you were deceived. You were not deceived. You just hit the wall every single beginner hits. The difference between people who get through it and people who quit or stay lost for years is simply this: knowing the wall exists before you hit it. Now, you actually know. Now, I want to tell you something about the environment you are learning in. And I want to be clear. This is not a conspiracy. Nobody is sitting in a room planning to destroy your account. But the incentives are not aligned with your success. Every platform wants you to trade more. More trades means more fees, more spreads, more commissions. Even the exchanges are designed to feel like a game. You have pro firms pushing the idea of scalping and day trading and punishing the swing traders. None of that is built to make you a better trader. It is built to keep you engaged and active. And activity in trading is not the same as progress. The most profitable decision you will ever make in trading is sometimes doing nothing, waiting, not touching anything. That is a skill. And nothing in the environment you are learning in will ever teach you that. Because there is no money in teaching you to stay still. So you have to learn it yourself. And here is something that will save you months, maybe even years. There is no perfect strategy. It does not exist. I know that sounds a little bit sad, but hear me out. Watch what happens in practice. You find something that makes sense. You try it. It works a few times, then it stops working. So you go looking for something better. You find it, same cycle. 6 months later, you have tried 12 different strategies and approaches, and you are further from consistency than when you started. This is the strategy trap, and almost every beginner falls into it. Here is actually what works. Find something simple, something you can understand completely, something with clear logic behind it, not just a pattern, but a reason the pattern forms. Then adapt it, not replace it, adapt it. Learn how it behaves in different market conditions. Tweak it based on what you actually see. Do a small amount of backtesting, not to find the perfect settings, but to understand how the concept behaves across different situations. Then trade it with real money, very small amounts. Not because small amounts will make you rich, because that is how you actually learn. This is where the real education starts, which brings me to paper trading. If you have been told to paper trade before risking real money, I understand why that advice exists. The intention is good, but here is the reality. Paper trading teaches you almost nothing about actual trading. It teaches you how the platform works. That is useful for maybe 2 days. After that, what it actually does is give you a false picture of who you are as a trader. Because when there is no real money on the line, you do not feel anything. You enter without hesitation, you hold through drawdowns without stress, you exist cleanly, you think, I am good at this. But that's not real trading. That's not actual money. Then you switch to real money, and suddenly you are a completely different person. You second guess entries you were confident about yesterday. You close winners too early because the profit feels real and you do not want to lose it. You hold losers too long because closing them means admitting you were wrong. None of that appeared in paper trading because none of it was about strategy. It was about what happens to your decision making when something real is at stake. The only way to learn that is to experience it. So instead of paper trading for months, take the smallest amount you can generally afford to lose. We are talking about amounts that feel almost embarrassing, and trade that. Feel what it feels like to be wrong with real money. Learn to manage that feeling while the cost of the lesson is almost nothing. Learn how to control your greed and risk a fixed amount that you never go above it in any circumstances. That is real education. Everything else is a fake play you are never actually performing. Last thing, and this one reframes everything. Stop thinking about trading as a way to make quick money. Start thinking about it as a business. A real business has slow months. It has unexpected costs. It has periods where nothing seems to work and you question everything. And a real business owner does not panic and shut everything down every time revenue dips. They look at the full picture, they manage their costs, they stay operational. Trading is exactly the same. You will have losing weeks and even days, losing months. That is not a sign that something is broken. That is part of the game. The question is never did I make money this day or this week. The question is, am I building something that is profitable when I look at the full year? And just like in a business, the biggest risk is not a single bad trade. It is running out of capital before you figure things out. That is what risk management is actually for. Not to limit your upside, to keep you in business long enough to get good. Here is what changes now that you have this starting point. Trading becomes learnable, not easy, learnable, because you are no longer chasing something that does not exist. You are building something real, something simple, something that adapts. You understand what the game actually is. You know the delusion phase is coming and you will not be destroyed by it. You know the environment is not designed for quick success, so you will not take the bait. You know paper trading is a false floor, so you will not build your confidence on it. And you know that a losing month is not a failure. It is just a period of drawdown among the minimums of profit. This is what the no noise framework is about. Not a magic system, not a guaranteed path, just an honest way of seeing markets. Simple, adaptable, built on real understanding. Remove the noise, keep what matters. Make it simple, make it adaptable, trust your intuition, and manage your risk. So if you like this video, please subscribe, leave a like, leave a nice comment, and see you in the next one. Thank you.